Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The message arrived while I was parking the car. Running late. Just grabbing dinner with a friend. Don't wait up. It shouldn't have meant anything. Married people texted things like that all the time. Ordinary words. Harmless. Forgettable. But my chest tightened in a way I couldn't explain. Maybe it was the word friend. Maybe it was how quickly she typed it. Or maybe it was the quiet, growing feeling that I had been standing outside my own marriage for months, pretending I was still inside. I sat in the dark car long after the engine stopped, rereading the message until the screen dimmed. A strange thought slipped in, soft, unwanted, impossible to ignore. Why didn't she tell me before? The signs hadn't started that night. They had been building quietly, like dust in corners you stop noticing. Missed calls she never returned. Her phone turning face down on the table, laughing at messages she wouldn't show me. First, I blamed myself. Work stress. Long hours. Maybe I'd stopped paying attention. Love doesn't disappear in a day. It fades in small, deniable ways. So I tried harder. I cooked dinner she barely touched. Planned weekends she suddenly had excuses to cancel. Asked if she was okay and accepted I'm just tired like it was the full truth. Because believing her was easier than imagining the alternative. 3 weeks later I saw the name. It flashed briefly across her lock screen while she was in the shower. Just a first name. Followed by a heart I had never seen before. I told myself not to look. Good husbands didn't check phones. Trust meant not needing proof. But trust had already started cracking. And cracks make sound when you step on them. My hands were shaking when I picked it up. The messages weren't dramatic. No grand declarations. Just soft, familiar intimacy. Miss you already. Tonight felt perfect. Wish we didn't have to hide. Each line felt quieter than shouting, and somehow worse. Because this wasn't sudden. It was practiced. Comfortable. Real. I put the phone back exactly where it was and sat on the edge of the bed, staring at nothing while the shower kept running. Water against tile. Steam in the air. My marriage dissolving in silence. I didn't confront her that night. Or the next. Instead I watched. Not proudly, just helplessly. She smiled at texts that weren't mine. Stayed later at work. Bought a new dress she never wore around me. Every memory began to shift. Vacations. Birthdays. Ordinary mornings. All of it felt edited. Like I'd been living beside a secret version of her. And the worst part wasn't anger. It was grief. Grief for something that hadn't officially ended, but somehow already had. The restaurant was her idea. Date night, she said, cheerful in a way that felt rehearsed. A small Italian place we used to love. Back when holding hands across the table felt natural instead of nostalgic. Candles flickered between us. Soft music. People laughing around us like the world was still simple. She talked about work. About a coworker's promotion. About anything that wasn't us. I listened, nodding, feeling strangely calm. Like the storm had already passed and only quiet remained. Halfway through dinner, her phone lit up beside her plate. She glanced down quickly. Too quickly. I saw the same name. The same heart. And something inside me finally stopped pretending. Who is he? I asked quietly. She froze. Not dramatically, just a small pause like a skipped breath. What do you mean? I looked at her the way you look at someone you love for the last time before they know it's the last time. The messages, I said. I know. Silence settled between us. Heavy and undeniable. The restaurant noise faded into something distant, underwater. Her eyes filled slowly, not with shock but with exhaustion. How long had she been carrying this? How long had I been refusing to see it? He's just a friend, she whispered. The words landed softly, gently, cruelly, because once I had been her best friend, and now I had been replaced by a sentence. I expected anger, or denial, or some dramatic confession that would make this easier to hate. Instead she looked sad. I didn't plan it, she said. I felt lonely. We stopped talking, stopped seeing each other, and he just listened. Each word hurt because a part of me understood it. Love doesn't always break with betrayal first. Sometimes it breaks with distance, with silence, with two people slowly choosing comfort somewhere else. I never meant to hurt you, she said. I believed her. And somehow that hurt more than lying would have. I looked around the restaurant, the place where we once celebrated anniversaries, birthdays, ordinary Tuesdays. So many memories. All still here. Just not alive anymore. And in that quiet moment, I realized something simple and unbearable. Love shouldn't require proof to survive. If she could sit across from me, loving someone else quietly, then the marriage had already ended long before tonight. I felt tears rise, but they stayed behind my eyes. Not weakness, just acceptance arriving slowly. So that's what I am now, I said softly. Just a friend. She couldn't answer. And that was answer enough. I placed money on the table, more than the bill required. A small practical gesture in the middle of something emotionally irreversible. She looked up, panic flickering through her sadness. Wait, what are you doing? I stood, feeling strangely steady, like pain had finally chosen a clear direction. I'm ending this, I said gently. Not because I hate you, because I still respect myself. Her tears fell then, quiet, real, too late to change anything. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know, I said. And I meant that too. Outside, the night air felt colder than it should have. Cars passed. People laughed somewhere down the street. Life continued with cruel normalcy. I stood there for a moment, breathing in a future I hadn't planned. It hurt. Of course it hurt. But beneath the pain was something small and new. Peace. Not happiness. Not yet. Just the quiet understanding that loving someone should never mean disappearing inside their lies. I walked away from the restaurant without looking back. Because some endings don't need one last glance. They only need the courage to finally choose yourself.